Tom Parker lived alone in his small apartment on the outskirts of New York. At 32, he worked from home as a software developer, and the silence of his empty apartment was starting to get to him. His friends had suggested getting a pet, but Tom wanted something different, something that could keep up with his tech-savvy lifestyle. One evening, while browsing through ads on his tablet, a pop-up caught his attention. "Next-gen SmartPet's your perfect companion." The advertisement showed sleek, robotic pets that could learn and adapt to their owner's lifestyle. Without much thought, Tom clicked the order button and selected the "Surprise Me" option, thinking he'd get a robot dog or cat. 3 days later, a large, metallic cylinder arrived at his doorstep. The package was surprisingly warm to the touch and had strange markings that seemed to shift and change color. Tom checked the delivery details. They matched his order, but something felt off about the whole thing. As he brought the cylinder inside, he noticed it was humming softly. The instruction manual was written in what appeared to be multiple languages, most of which he'd never seen before. Only the last page had English text, which read, "Warning, atmospheric adaptation in progress. Please open in a well-ventilated area." Tom's hands trembled as he found the release mechanism. With a soft hiss, the cylinder began to open, releasing a gentle purple mist. Inside, curled up in what looked like suspended animation, was definitely not a robot. It was a small, humanoid figure with silvery skin and delicate, almost translucent features. Before Tom could process what he was seeing, the figure's eyes fluttered open, revealing iridescent purple irises. She, for the figure appeared feminine, looked around with obvious confusion, then focused on Tom. Her mouth opened, and to his surprise she spoke in perfect English, though her voice had an odd, musical quality to it. "Are you my designated caretaker?" she asked, climbing out of the cylinder with graceful movements. She stood about 4 feet tall, wearing what appeared to be a simple white jumpsuit with strange, glowing patterns. Tom stood frozen, his mind racing. He had ordered a SmartPet but received what appeared to be an alien child instead. The legal and ethical implications alone were enough to make his head spin. Yet, as he looked at her curious, innocent expression, he couldn't bring himself to reject her. I guess I am," he finally managed to say. "I'm Tom. Do you have a name?" She tilted her head, considering the question. "My designation is Life Form Integration Model 7, but I believe it's customary for caretakers to provide a simplified name." Tom looked at the cylinder she had arrived in, noticing the serial number, LIM7. "How about Lily?" he suggested, thinking it was close enough to her designation while being a normal Earth name. The alien girl's face lit up, literally, as a soft glow emanated from her silvery skin. "Lily," she repeated, testing the name. "I like it. It's much easier to say than my full designation." As Tom watched her explore his living room with cautious curiosity, touching and examining everyday objects as if they were fascinating artifacts, he realized his life was about to become much more interesting than he'd bargained for. He had wanted to break the monotony of his lonely existence, but this was far beyond anything he could have imagined. What he didn't know was that this was just the beginning of an adventure that would change not only his life but potentially the relationship between Earth and the stars above. The first few days with Lily were a crash course in alien childcare. Tom quickly discovered that his new ward had some unusual habits and needs. For one thing, she didn't sleep. Instead, she entered what she called a regeneration cycle, every 3 days, during which she would sit perfectly still for exactly 6 hours while her skin pulsed with soft, colorful lights. During her active periods, Lily proved to be incredibly intelligent. She absorbed information like a sponge, spending hours watching educational videos and reading through Tom's entire digital library. Her questions were endless and often challenging to answer. "Why do humans waste so much time sleeping?" she asked one morning while watching Tom yawn over his coffee. "And why do you drink that bitter liquid every day?" Tom smiled, still adjusting to her direct way of speaking. "Sleep helps our bodies and minds recover. And coffee helps us wake up when we don't get enough sleep." "Inefficient," Lily commented, but her tone was curious rather than judgmental. She reached for Tom's coffee mug, but he quickly moved it away. "No coffee for you," he said firmly. "I have no idea how it might affect your system." The thought reminded him of a growing concern. He had no idea what she should eat. So far, she had only consumed water and what she called nutrient capsules from her transport cylinder, but those wouldn't last forever. That afternoon, while Lily was absorbed in learning Earth's history, Tom searched online for any news about alien sightings or mysterious deliveries. To his surprise, he found nothing unusual. Either this was an isolated incident, or others who had received similar packages were keeping quiet. His pondering was interrupted by a crash from the kitchen. He rushed in to find Lily standing on the counter, several cabinet doors open, and a broken plate on the floor. She turned to him with glowing purple eyes. "Tom, I've detected traces of similar nutrient compounds in your food storage units, but they're combined inefficiently. I believe I can synthesize compatible sustenance from your available ingredients." "You could have just asked for help," Tom said, carefully picking up the broken pieces. "And please don't climb on the counters." Lily's skin flickered slightly. Something Tom had learned was her version of blushing. "Earth's gravitational pull is different from my original environment. I'm still adjusting my movements." As Tom helped her down, he noticed something odd about her jumpsuit. The glowing patterns had changed, forming new configurations he hadn't seen before. When he mentioned it, Lily's expression became serious. "The suit is adapting to Earth's environment," she explained. "It's also sending data back home." She paused, seeming uncertain for the first time since her arrival. "Tom, there's something I need to tell you. My presence here isn't just about finding a caretaker." Before she could continue, Tom's phone buzzed with an urgent news alert. "Worldwide reports of unusual signal patterns detected by amateur radio operators. Scientists puzzled by coordinated broadcasts from unknown sources." Lily's skin patterns pulsed rapidly, and she grabbed Tom's arm. "They're coming," she whispered, her voice mixing excitement and worry. "The others like me. We're part of something bigger, a project called First Contact Integration. I'm what you might call a test run." Tom stared at her, then at his phone, then back at her. The implications slowly sank in. He hadn't just accidentally adopted an alien child, he had become part of humanity's first steps toward official contact with an advanced civilization. And judging by Lily's expression, things were about to get much more complicated. The next morning, Tom's apartment was surrounded by black vans. Men in suits knocked on his door just as Lily entered her regeneration cycle, her body glowing softly in the corner of the living room. "Mr. Parker?" A tall woman in a dark suit showed her badge. "I'm Agent Mills from the Department of Extraterrestrial Affairs. We need to talk about your recent purchase." Tom's heart raced, but he stood his ground. "She's not dangerous," he said quickly. "She's just a child." Agent Mills smiled slightly. "We know. May we come in? There's a lot you need to understand." Inside, two other agents scanned the apartment with strange devices while Agent Mills explained the situation. "You're not the only one, Mr. Parker. Across the globe, 312 people ordered SmartPets from that website. Each received a child like Lily." Tom glanced at Lily's glowing form. "Why? Why do this in secret?" "Their civilization believes in soft contact," Mills explained. "They've been watching us for decades, learning our ways. They decided the best approach wasn't landing spaceships or making grand announcements. Instead, they chose to integrate through families, one child at a time." The agent pulled out a tablet showing a map with glowing dots spread across the world. "Each dot represents a child like Lily. Their suits connect them to a network, sharing experiences, learning about human culture through direct interaction rather than observation." Tom processed this information, watching the gentle pulse of light from Lily's regeneration cycle. "But why me? Why any of us?" "The website wasn't random," Mills said. "Their AI analyzed millions of human profiles to find suitable caretakers, people who would be kind, patient, and open-minded enough to handle this situation. You were chosen, Mr. Parker. Just then, Lily's regeneration cycle ended. Her eyes opened, taking in the scene with remarkable calm. "Hello, Agent Mills," she said. "I see the revelation phase has begun." The agent nodded respectfully. "Hello, Lily." "Yes, it's time for full disclosure." Lily turned to Tom, her skin pattern showing complex emotions through changing colors. "I wanted to tell you everything from the beginning, but we needed genuine reactions for the integration study. Your natural responses to me were important data." "Data?" Tom felt a hint of betrayal. "Was any of it real?" Lily's skin flickered with distress. "All of it was real. My feelings, my curiosity, my attachment to you. The data was just a bonus. We're not just studying humans, we're learning to love them." Agent Mills cleared her throat. "Mr. Parker, we're not here to separate you. In fact, we need your help. Phase 2 of the integration is about to begin, and it's more challenging than the first." "More children?" Tom asked. "No," Lily answered, her patterns glowing brighter. "Our parents. They want to meet their children's caretakers. The next signal, it's an invitation. 312 families from our world want to visit Earth, to meet the humans who've been caring for their children." Tom sat down hard on his couch. "Your real parents are coming here?" "They're my biological family," Lily said carefully, moving to stand next to Tom. "But you're my Earth father now. That's why this program was created, to build bridges between our worlds through real family bonds." Agent Mills watched their interaction with approval. "Mr. Parker, we're offering you an official position as a cultural integration specialist. You'll help other families like yours navigate this new reality. Will you accept?" Tom looked at Lily, who was trying very hard to keep her skin patterns neutral despite her obvious hope. In just a few days, his life had changed completely. Now he was being offered a chance to help change the world. He reached out and took Lily's small hand in his. "When do we start?" The next 2 weeks were a whirlwind of activity. Tom's apartment became a hub of preparation for the upcoming alien visit. Agent Mills had arranged for him to work from home indefinitely, though his new job title of Cultural Integration Specialist came with more responsibilities than he'd expected. "Their ship will arrive in exactly 13 days, Lily explained while helping Tom sort through a stack of government documents. "They'll use the moon as a temporary base to avoid causing panic on Earth." Tom looked up from his paperwork. "Won't people notice a massive alien ship behind the moon?" "Our vessels use light-bending technology," Lily said proudly. "Besides, humans see what they expect to see. Your scientists will mark it as a standard astronomical anomaly." As they worked, Lily's skin patterns had started showing new, more complex configurations. One morning, Tom found her studying her reflection in the bathroom mirror, looking worried. "What's wrong?" he asked. "My biological changes are accelerating," she explained, pointing to faint, silvery markings that looked like constellations appearing on her skin. "Earth's environment is affecting me more than expected. It's not dangerous, but—" She hesitated. "My parents might be surprised by how much I've changed." Tom knelt beside her. "Are you scared about meeting them?" Lily's skin flickered with emotion. "I haven't seen them in what you'd call 3 Earth years. I was in suspended animation for most of the journey here." She turned to Tom. "What if they don't understand why I've grown attached to Earth? To you?" Before Tom could respond, his tablet lit up with an incoming video call. On the screen was another human-alien pair, a middle-aged woman named Linda and her alien child, whose skin patterns were similar to Lily's but with golden undertones. "Tom! Lily!" Linda waved. "We're organizing a meetup for local integration families. There are 5 of us within driving distance. The department thinks it would be good for the children to interact before their biological families arrive." The alien child beside her, who introduced himself as Ray, studied Lily with interest. "Your Earth adaptation patterns are very advanced," he noted. "Have you started developing temperature sensitivity yet?" Lily's patterns brightened with excitement. "Yes. I can feel warm and cold now. And I've started experiencing something Tom calls taste. Earth food is fascinating. As the children chatted about their biological changes, Tom and Linda exchanged knowing looks. All across the world, similar conversations were happening, humans and aliens learning to bridge their differences through shared experiences. The next day, Tom drove Lily to a secure government facility where the local integration families were meeting. Walking into the large conference room, he saw 4 other pairs of humans and alien children, each unique but sharing the same underlying bond he had with Lily. Remember when you thought you were just ordering a SmartPet? Agent Mills appeared beside them, smiling. Now you're part of the most important diplomatic mission in human history. As they watched the alien children interact, their skin patterns creating beautiful light shows as they shared experiences, Tom noticed something remarkable. Despite their obvious differences, their laughter sounded just like human children's. They're adapting faster than expected, Mills observed. Their biology is literally changing to match Earth's environment. It's like they're becoming a bridge between our species. Lily turned to Tom, her patterns forming what he now recognized as her serious question, configuration. When my parents arrive, will they be proud of how much I've learned? Or worried that I'm becoming too human? Tom watched as she unconsciously mimicked human gestures while talking with the other children. I think, he said carefully, they'll be amazed at how you've become the perfect ambassador between our worlds. You're not losing your original self, you're becoming something new, something that both our species need. Lily's patterns glowed with hope, but there was still uncertainty in her eyes. The true test would come when the ships arrived, and 2 very different families would have to learn to become one. The day of the arrival came sooner than anyone expected. Tom stood with Lily at a secret military base in the desert, surrounded by other integration families. The night sky above them was clear and star-filled, perfect for what was about to happen. They're dropping their cloaking shields now, Lily whispered, her skin patterns swirling with a mix of excitement and nervousness. All around them, the other alien children's patterns were doing the same, creating a breathtaking light show across the desert landing zone. Suddenly, the stars began to move. What at first looked like shooting stars transformed into graceful, silvery ships descending from the sky. They moved in perfect formation, each one about the size of a small house, their surfaces reflecting the desert moonlight like liquid metal. Tom felt Lily grab his hand tightly. Her skin was cool to the touch, a sign of emotional stress he'd learned to recognize. It's okay to be nervous, he said softly. I am too. Their ships are smaller than expected, Agent Mills commented, standing nearby with her tablet. They're being careful not to overwhelm us. The ships landed in a wide circle around the gathering, their hulls humming with a sound that made Tom's teeth tingle. As they touched down, sections of their surfaces began to ripple and flow, forming elegant doorways. Lily's grip on Tom's hand tightened as the first alien adults emerged. They were taller than their children, standing about 6 feet high, with more complex skin patterns that seemed to flow like living paintings across their bodies. They wore no clothes, their bodies covered in what appeared to be a natural, metallic-looking layer that shifted and moved with them. Those are the guides, Lily explained, her voice trembling slightly. They'll help our families understand Earth customs before. She trailed off as 2 more figures emerged from one of the ships. Tom knew immediately they were Lily's biological parents. Their skin patterns matched hers in a way that reminded him of human family resemblances. They moved with the same graceful efficiency he'd noticed in Lily, and their eyes held the same curious intelligence. As they approached, Lily's parents stopped several feet away, their skin patterns shifting through complex sequences. Lily responded with patterns of her own, and Tom realized they were communicating in their native language of light and color. Then, to everyone's surprise, Lily's biological mother spoke in perfect English. "You've taken good care of our child." Her voice had the same musical quality as Lily's but deeper, richer. "We've watched through her updates, but seeing in person how she's flourished." The alien woman's skin rippled with emotion. "She's amazing," Tom said honestly. "She's taught me as much as I've taught her." Lily's biological father stepped forward. We were concerned about the biological adaptations at first, he admitted. But seeing all the children now. He gestured around at the other alien kids, who were introducing their Earth parents to their biological families. They've become something more than either of our species. They're the future we hoped for. Lily finally released Tom's hand and took a step toward her biological parents. For a moment, Tom felt a pang of fear. Would they take her away now? But then Lily did something that made his heart swell. She reached back and took his hand again, pulling him forward with her. "This is my Earth father," she said proudly to her biological parents. "He's taught me about human love, which is different from our way but just as powerful. She hesitated, then continued bravely. "Can we be one family?" The alien couple's skin patterns shifted through colors Tom had never seen before. Then, in a gesture that needed no translation, they both extended their hands toward him. Around them, similar scenes were playing out across the desert. Human and alien families meeting, merging, creating something entirely new. The real integration was just beginning, and it would change both worlds forever. 6 months after the landing, Tom's apartment had transformed into something that would have seemed impossible in his old life. His spare room now housed a shimmering portal that connected directly to Lily's biological parents' home on their world, allowing for daily visits between the two families. "Earth coffee is superior to any stimulant on our world," Lily's biological mother, who now went by Anna, declared one morning, sipping from her mug. She had adapted to Earth customs enthusiastically, even choosing a human name to make interaction easier. Lily's biological father, who chose the name Robert, was examining Tom's laptop with fascination. Like many of their species, he was less interested in adopting human ways but deeply curious about Earth technology. "Your computers are primitive but creative," he observed. "The ways you've overcome your technological limitations are remarkable." Lily, who now attended a special school for integration children, was thriving. Her unique biology had stabilized, creating a perfect blend of both species' traits. She could switch between her natural form and a more human-like appearance, though she preferred to stay in her natural state at home. "The other kids at school said humans are going to visit our world next year," Lily announced over dinner one evening. The family had gathered for what had become a weekly tradition, sharing a meal together, even though the alien adults didn't need to eat solid food. Tom nodded, having received the official briefing that morning. 312 human families will be the first to visit your world. They're calling it the Reverse Integration Program. It was always the plan, Anna explained, her skin pattern showing pride. "First, we learn about humans. Then, humans learn about us. Finally, we grow together." The changes weren't limited to their family. Across Earth, the integration program had sparked a renaissance in human society. The presence of alien families had been carefully revealed to the public, leading to a surge of optimism and innovation. Fear and prejudice existed, but they were overshadowed by hope and curiosity. Lily's school had become a model for future human-alien education centers. Children of both species learned together, sharing knowledge and cultures. The alien children's natural ability to change their appearance helped ease the transition, though many humans had come to see their natural forms as beautiful. "Remember when you thought you were ordering a SmartPet?" Robert asked Tom, his skin pattern showing the equivalent of a teasing smile. It had become a running joke in their family. "Best mistake I ever made," Tom replied, watching Lily help Anna understand how to use the TV remote. The sight of his alien daughter teaching her biological mother about Netflix still made him smile. That night, as Tom was preparing for bed, Lily came to his room. Her skin pattern showed the swirling configuration he'd learned meant she was deep in thought. "Dad," she said, using the term she'd adopted for Tom while calling her biological father in their native language, "I learned something interesting today. The website where you ordered me, it wasn't random. The AI didn't just choose suitable caretakers. It matched personalities and potentials." Tom sat on his bed, intrigued. "What do you mean?" "Out of millions of humans, it chose people who not only would accept us but whose personalities would complement their alien child's. You were chosen specifically for me." Her patterns shifted to show warmth and affection. "We were always meant to be family." As if on cue, the portal in the spare room hummed to life, and Anna and Robert stepped through for their nightly visit. Looking at his impossible, wonderful family, 2 alien parents, 1 human father, and a daughter who represented the best of both worlds, Tom felt a deep sense of rightness. What had started as a simple online order had become humanity's greatest adventure. And for Tom, it had given him something even more precious: a family that spanned the stars.